I hate you, Dad. You've always made my life a living hell. You've always ruined my life. Die, you wicked old man. Chief Ayeode was a man whose wealth and influence spanned beyond the country, his name synonymous with power and success. Yet, beyond his vast business empire, what truly set him apart were his stunning twin daughters, Bella and Beyonce. They were non-identical twins, each with their own unique beauty that left people in awe. Together, the trio appeared to be an unbreakable force, a perfect family where strength, ambition, and beauty combined to maintain the legacy of the Ayeode dynasty. To the world, Chief Ayeode was the perfect father figure, and his daughters were his pride. They graced high-profile events, exuding sophistication, charm, and affluence. Many of their father's wealthy associates hoped their own children could emulate Bella and Beyonce, seeing them as role models. But behind the carefully picture-perfect image lay a bitter reality and truth that only the walls off the luxury mansion knew. Despite the picture of harmony presented to the public, Chief Ayeode was far from an exemplary father. He played favorites, openly displaying a stark contrast in how he treated his daughters. While Beyonce basked in the undivided love and attention of her father, Bella was treated like an outcast in her own home. Beyonce, popularly known as Bey, was the princess of the Ayeode Empire. She got everything she wanted, whether she deserved it or not. She lived a reckless, carefree life, indulging in luxury without a care in the world. Social media was her playground, where she flaunted wealth, fashion, and a life of opulence, feeding off the admiration of her followers. Hard work was never in her vocabulary. She never needed to lift a finger because her father ensured she never had to. Bella, on the other hand, being the eldest, most beautiful, and most hardworking, was despised by her own father. She was his black sheep, since she was the cursed child. Ever since they were kids, her father discriminated openly between her and her twin sister. He brought her sister expensive gifts and took her for outings. Meanwhile, she, on the other hand, was scolded for everything she did, sometimes for nothing at all. The very sight of her spoiled Chief Ayeode's entire day. "You worthless child, you are just like your mother, always causing pain to people." He had once barked at her when she had mistakenly bumped into him, spilling juice on his expensive suit. That was the first time she had caught a hint of why he treated her with such contempt, almost as if she was adopted. He hated their late mother to the core. But why? Bella had never received a clear answer, and no matter how much she searched for the truth, she found nothing. If their mother had truly wronged him, why did he not extend the same hatred toward Beyonce? After all, they were twins. Despite her father's maltreatment and Beyonce's constant bullying, however, Bella grew into a strong, independent woman. While her sisters squandered off their father's wealth, she built her own name through sheer determination. Over the years, she had worked tirelessly, climbing the corporate ladder to become the chief operating officer of the Ayeode Empire. Her contributions were the true backbone of the family's success. Yet, despite her brilliance and dedication, her father made sure to keep her beneath Beyonce, handing the title of CEO to her less competent sister simply out of favoritism. Bella, however, did not let this bother her. She had long grown used to being overlooked. But no matter how indifferent she tried to act concerning the issue, she still longed for something she had never had, her father's love and recognition. It was a longing that never bore fruit. The world saw the Ayeode companies as a force driven by three, but the reality was that Bella was the only one truly holding the empire together. Then, things took a drastic turn. Bella had managed to balance her demanding career with a strong relationship with her secondary school sweetheart, Daniel. He was tall, handsome, and charming, the perfect man in her eyes. Their love had stood the test of time, and after 3 years together, Daniel had proposed. Overjoyed, Bella had accepted, and they had eagerly planned to share the news of her upcoming wedding with her family. 2 weeks later, she arranged a family dinner, inviting Daniel to formally introduce him and announce their intentions to marry. The dinner was meant to be a celebration, a new chapter in her life, but it quickly turned into a nightmare. Beyonce, who had been unaware of her sister's relationship with Daniel, shot up from her seat in shock. "This can't happen!" She screamed to everyone's surprise, her face twisted in disbelief as she processed the revelation. Daniel, the man she had tried so many times to seduce since secondary school but had never fallen for her charm, was marrying Bella. The realization sent her into a fit of rage. Unable to bear the sight, she stormed away angrily. Beyonce paced in her room, restless. She was so upset. Why was her sister, despite the harshness her father had put her, always so lucky? Effortlessly lucky? Daniel was her dream guy, and there was no way she was going to leave him for a loser like Bella, her eyes filled with venom. Break off the engagement, Bella. I want Daniel. I saw him first. I loved him first. Give him to me. Bella ignored her at first, but replied soon afterwards with her full attention on her laptop. You are crossing the line, just as you've been doing for years now, Beyonce. But I assure you, if you cross this one, you won't go back the way you were before crossing it. Bey felt highly disrespected and challenged, but she wasn't one to accept defeat easily, much so to someone like Bella. If her sister accepted the easy way, she knew exactly who would help her, her father. She stormed into Chief Ayeode's study, demanding that he put an end to Bella and Daniel's wedding. There's no way she's getting married before me, and certainly not to the man I want, she fumed angrily, that her body shook. But for the first time, granting his precious daughter's request, Chief Ayeode hesitated. He was just as unhappy with Bella's engagement, but something in his daughter's eyes earlier frightened him. Bella had always been obedient, but now she looked ready to fight. He knew that if she married Daniel, he would lose his hold on her. Her full focus will now be on her husband. He hated to admit it, but Bella was the key to his business empire's success. He couldn't allow her to go. The wedding must not happen somehow. Determined to sabotage the wedding, Beyonce concocted a plan. If she couldn't stop Bella directly, she would attack her through the business. She tampered with an important project Bella had been working on, ensuring it failed. On the day of the presentation, Bella could barely execute it with excellence. As she would often do, the presentation was in disarray. Bella was left standing speechless and embarrassed. This was a contrary presentation to what she had submitted to Beyonce as the CEO of the company. After the presentation, she stormed Beyonce's office demanding an explanation of what she had done, but Beyonce feigned innocence. Just then, Mr. Ayeode entered, booming with anger. She accused her of being highly incompetent since she was focused on her wedding. No matter how much Bella tried to explain that it was Beyonce's doing, Mr. Ayeode conclusively told her that her wedding was called off until she had fixed the mess, but Bella for the first time stood her ground and challenged her father unwaveringly. She packed out of the company and even their home. She then settled in one of her personal apartments, where she uninterruptedly continued with her wedding preparations. Beyonce hadn't expected her sister to boldly resign and pack out just like that. Barely 3 days of her sister's absence, and the business was already in chaos. She discussed with Mr. Ayeode, and the two brought up another plan. They would allow Bella to continue with the wedding and even make peace with Bella, but on the day of the wedding, instead of Bella, Beyonce would be the one getting married to Daniel. To make sure Bella ended up heartbroken, they would make it look like Daniel got married to Beyonce deliberately. Bella's only solace would be to bury herself to work, leading to more profit for the company. The plan was perfect. Beyonce then put up an act and begged for forgiveness, and Bella, being naive, was happy to reconcile with her twin and her father. Beyonce went ahead helping with the preparations. As the wedding day finally arrived, while Bella, in her wedding gown, stood in front of the mirror in excitement and anticipation, Beyonce smirked inwardly beside her. She patiently waited for the perfect time and handed her a glass of water. Bella drank it without suspicion, never realizing it was laced with a sedative. Within moments, she collapsed. As the guests waited for the bride's arrival, a veiled figure walked down the aisle, escorted by a smiling Chief Ayeode. The ceremony proceeded, and just as the priest declared them husband and wife, the doors burst open. A disoriented but enraged Bella stood there, horrified. Daniel, as well as the guest, were just as confused. If that was Bella by the door, who then was posing as the bride? The whispers became even more louder with unbelief, as if they were watching a movie display before their very eyes. Beyonce, with a victorious smirk, unveiled her face, leading to shocking gasps around all corners of the hall. Without thinking, Bella rushed forward and slapped her sister. Her eyes reddened with anger and her body shook violently. "You betrayed me." Mr. Ayeode told her to respect herself and not make a scene in front of everyone. "How could you be so mean to your own daughter? What did I ever do for you to hate me with passion?" Bella asked, pure hatred and betrayal in her voice, now realizing her father was part of it too. Of course he was. He was her sister's all-time advocate. As Bella cried, losing all her sense of reasoning in the process, something inside her snapped. Before anyone could react, she pulled a knife from beneath her gown and plunged it into her father's chest. The world stood still before erupting in chaos. People disappeared in horror while Beyonce, coming out of her shock, rushed to her father's side crying. The ambulance came and took me, Ayeode, away. Bella sat on the floor, still in shock by what she had done, as Daniel tried to console her. The police came and arrested her. The news was everywhere, the truth of the Ayeode family exposed. People gossiped, others sympathized with Bella, some gave varying opinions. A few weeks later, Bella spent her time behind bars. The shock had worn off, and she worried and prayed for her father, who was in critical condition. After a week of coma, Mr. Ayeode regained consciousness and asked for Bella to be brought to him. Bella apologized for letting her anger get the best of her, but Mr. Ayeode said it was all his fault. He revealed that he had all these years transferred his hatred for their mother to her because she looked very similar to her, almost like her twin. Mr. Ayeode explained that his hatred and betrayal towards his late wife stemmed when he caught her cheating with another man years ago, when she was just 4 months pregnant with the girls. Bella forgave her father and, to compensate for her mistake, agreed to serve her term in prison. But Ayeode refused. He used his connections to free up his daughter and clear off every history about the incident. He was more than ever determined to use his second chance and make things up with her. Beyonce, however, felt bitter. Not only was her sister gaining now all the love and attention, her scam marriage with Daniel had immediately been declared void, leaving her all alone. She couldn't believe she had lost for the first time everything and everyone to her sister. No matter how much Mr. Ayeode tried to make peace with his 2 daughters, Beyonce especially was unwilling. He blamed himself for her turning out this way. The deed had been done. Despite the tragedy disappearing into whispers, Bella couldn't stay in the country. She moved abroad and married Daniel, where she resumed her life afresh. The end. Thanks for watching till the end. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell as well, so you'll get notified when next a hot story like this one is posted. Also, please like, comment on what you learned about this story, and share it too, with even just one person beside you.